In this video I will do my review of Gondor at War. Hello and welcome to yet another video here on the YouTube channel STF Wargaming Studio. My name is Andreas Norwegian Viking and this is the first part of a series of videos where I will be covering the new book Gondor at War. So this wonderful book was just released to me, arrived on my doorstep, and I figured why not go through the book and you can decide for yourself if this book is worth picking up. So the first part of this series will be a general review of the book as a whole. Then I'll go through the new profiles included in the book, and then I will go through the new legendary legions. I might do a scenario review at some point, but for now these are the three videos I'll be doing. So first up we have the actual contents of the book. Now it is a hefty tome. It is just over 128 pages, I think 128 plus a few doing the back covers and stuff like that, and it is full colour, awesome hardback, so it's in line and the sign is in line with the rest of the series so far. Looks absolutely beautiful as the others, including some wonderful scenes from the movies, and has a small introduction what the book is about. It is predominantly a narrative scenario book, so bear that in mind. It covers some of the history of Gondor, so from the founding of Gondor and Arnor all the way through the time of the stewards and the light from the shadows, where the third age comes to an end. And then it goes straight ahead into the scenarios, and I am absolutely baffled by the amount of scenarios. There are 28, was it? 28 scenarios, I think, inside this book. So you have actually 2 scenarios meanwhile needs to play now. Like, we need to play these immediately. It is the defense of Osgiliath, where of course Faramir and Madril plus Damrod, so all the rangers try to beat back some invaders, some orc invaders. Then you have the retaking of Osgiliath, that awesome extended edition scene. So Weil needs to actually finish his Boromir with banner model. So you have, of course, all the named characters: Boromir, Faramir, Madril and Damrod, and a bunch of warriors against, again, some orcs. So you have that final well, installment of Boromir's movie career, as it were. So he gets his well, after his death, more like it's a scene that takes you back in time to see the glory he could have been, really, if he didn't die. Spoilers. So then you have the ambush of Thielen, where the mimics are being taken out by some rangers. Then some very interesting new scenarios. So of course we've seen the previous 3, but this is a new slew of scenarios. You have the raiding of Pelagia, so you have Angbor the Fearless and 24 clansmen of Lamadon versus Dalmir, the new Umbar named character called Delgamar, and then you have, of course, great many Corsairs of Umbar. You have the fall of Osgiliath, so Gothmog coming back to Osgiliath to take that out. The White Rider, so he rides to the defense of Faramir when he's trying to get back on the wounded horse. Faramir's, no, well, that's the, is that the wrong way around? Oh yeah, no, it's not the wrong way around. So Gandalf rides out to save the fleeing host, and then when Faramir gets back, you then have Faramir's charge, where he futilely will charge the line of orcs. Then you have the Battle for Pelagia, so that is of course the Aragorn and the rest of the three hunters, Legolas and Gimli, as well as Halbrand, Elladan on the Hellraiser, and the King of the Dead, with two of the new profiles, Heralds of the Dead, Angbor the Fearless, and loads of Warriors of the Dead, and Clansmen of Lamadon versus an Umbar host. So very interesting couple of scenarios. You have at the top of the wall, so this is where after Gandalf's fantastic speech about White Shores, brings a tear to my eye every time I watch it. There is just the siege towers crack down, and there's a fight. The gate is breached, so the trolls coming through the gate. You have the streets of Middle-earth where Gandalf is riding through the streets and saving Pippin. Witch King's arrival, which is a very interesting scenario using a deck of cards. Can't wait to play that one with Gandalf versus the Witch King. Charge of the Rohirrim, which seems to be a very cool scenario with 24 rides around plus all the named heroes versus a slew of Moran and Orcs. Denethor's Madness, so Denethor upon the pyre. You have the War Beast from the south, where you would need 3 mimics. Yeah. Horse and the Serpent, so that's Theoden versus Suladan. You have, well, and more combatants as well, so that's an army versus an army. Then you have 2 single models versus each other. Well, really, but there are model models there. So Death of the King, so that's of course Theoden versus the Witch King. Final Fate of the Witch King, which can actually use the diorama model, which is using again a deck of cards to fight it out. Very interesting. Ride of the Fiefdom, so then you have the Fiefdom line charging out along with Hurrind Toll against Gothmog and his Moran Orcs. Grief of Irma, where Irma finds the his fury awakened, so he will go absolutely mental. Defend the Gate, so here you will have more of the fiefdoms and the Minas Tirith warriors. Docks of Harland, so that's where the 3 hunters come out, and you have Gurrits, catapults, trying to defend against an army of the dead. Death of Gothmog, of course. We're not using the diorama model, so this is more likely, well, more likely I say, it's where Gimli, Aragorn and Eowyn battle it out with Gothmog and some orcs. So it's basically the diorama model, but using models instead. And the wonderful White Wolf scenario, it was originally released in White Wolf, that still counts as one. So you have Legolas versus Mimic with all the bits and pieces inside. Dead Arrive, where you have loads of Warriors of the Dead versus Mimics. Battle for Pelennor Field, which is a huge scenario. It actually is a scenario with 4 pages. 6 armies in total, so you have Gondor, Rohan, Grey Company, Mordor, Harad and Eastlings and Canned. So actually getting Canned onto the battlefield this time, which is absolutely fantastic. Black 8, and then you have 2 accompanying scenarios, the Black Gate left hill and the Black Gate the right hill. So all in all, a total of 25 plus Black Gates. So that's 28 scenarios, yeah, in total. So should be a wonderful addition to the Grand Campaign here on the channel. If you haven't watched that, there are currently 150 episodes up, so you should get started if you haven't already. Then the book actually does something I really like. So this book introduces a slew of new heroes to the armies already released in the Armies of the Lord of the Rings. And the way they tackle this is basically reprint just the army list. But not just the one-page army list where it has the army composition and the army bonus, it also adds a second page where it goes more in depth. So not necessarily to the army and how it works, but well, that's actually what it does. It tells you the strength and weaknesses of each army, and it tells you what the key models are. So for instance, Minas Tirith is reprinted, so it has Húrin, it has Irolas, it has Ingold in the army, so it adds the new 3 characters. But it also takes on the strength, so it has impressive heroes, high defense warriors, and access to 3+ shoot value with the Rangers and Citadel Guard. And it explains the weaknesses of Fight 3 cavalry, and that there are so much to choose from in this army. So it's very, very cool to see the designer's notes, as it were, because you don't really see that much these days. Then it explains the key models. So you have Aragorn, Warriors of Minas Tirith, Madril and Gandalf, and Madril is an inspired choice, and it explains why as well. And it goes on to all the armies has the same thing. So it goes on to do the same thing for all the different armies. So you have, of course, the fiefdoms in addition to the aforementioned Minas Tirith. Then Rohan, with the new heroes there, the Dead of Dunharrow, the Mordor list. We have the Serpent Horde, of course, Faharad, the Corsairs of Umbar, and that's the key participants of the new or the combatants inside this book. Not all of them, but most of them. So then you have the legendary legions. So it explains how they work. So basically it's a list made of profiles that would not normally be in the same lists. It explains that heroic models will keep the same heroic tier unless it's otherwise specifically stated, and they have a set of special rules which adds to their worth. And they cannot ally with anyone, and they don't have an army bonus, and they don't, well, they do have bonuses, but they don't take the army bonuses from their original lists. And the hero models inside the Legendary Legion can lead warriors that they would not normally be able to lead. So for instance, in one of the Legendary Legions, so for instance, let's say, which one should we take? So the Return of the King, which is an army bonus. Well, it's an army that contains Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli, King of Dead, Heralds of Dead, Warriors of Dead, and Riders of Dead. So in this list, Gimli could lead Riders of the Dead, which is an interesting choice. So the total amount of armies, and I will go through these in depth in my review of the Legendary Legions, is the Rangers of Thielen, the Grey Company, Return of the King, Riders of Theoden, the Men of the West, the Army of Gothmog, the Grand Army of the South, and as well as the Black Gate Opens. So a really cool amount of interesting lists, and I can't wait to playtest them and see whether this really is choices worth taking over the pure army list or a combination of armies. And then you get a spread of fantastic looking models, a mix of old and new, Forge World and GWs, who have a spread for Minas Tirith with the new Gandalf and Pippin, as well as the old Faramir, Aragorn, King Elisar, the Minas Tirith Command, and you also have Forge Worlds, Irolas, Ingold, Húrin and Denethor. So wonderful mix. Some pictures of fiefdoms, Army of Dead, Rohan, Mordor. So basically the combatants of this army. And it ends pretty inspiring with a crowning picture. a wonderful addition, in my opinion, to the already stacked library of books. This is the 4th book in the Middle-earth strategy battle game, completing, in my opinion, one of the best, possibly, campaigns, because you have loads of scenarios from the main, well, not the main rulebook, because that didn't really include many scenarios, but from the armies of the Lord of the Rings, you had some scenarios that will go straight into this, and then you can fill it out with other scenarios from other books previously published to make your own grand campaign, as it were. But you can also play it as a standalone using the tiered system that you get in bonuses and stuff like that from playing and winning games ahead of each other. So I really think that this is a fantastic book. It includes new profiles which are very interesting, which I'll go through in my next video, which you will see very shortly up on the channel. And it also includes the fantastic new legendary legions. So of course I just got this book, so I can't really speak to where the legendary legions are worth it yet, because I haven't played with them. But from what I can tell, it is very narrative and fluffy armies, and very many people like to play that way in this game. It is a way to basically take the best parts, what you like from the movies, and getting to play that army, no matter how the armies are basically intertwined. And what I would like to see now is a similar book for the Hobbit. So, because now there isn't a single tome, because both the There and Back Again book and the Hobbit main rules manual, which was the previous edition, have been discontinued. So the only Hobbit scenarios you have now are the ones from the Armies of the Hobbit book. So what I would like to say, and it would be a similar number of scenarios, maybe a bit more, but you'd have some very nice scenario packs, and you can then add some models that previously haven't been covered by rules, such as the Goblin, Misty Mountain Goblins with bows, for instance. You could have loads of the cool characters, the Lake Town God with musical instruments, bear to mind, and then you could add models that you previously didn't release, so the aforementioned couple of models, as well as fleshing out other unreleased sculpts. You could have the Catapult Trolls, the Warbats, and loads of other cool stuff there. So I think this is really the way to go. I've been missing these kinds of books. The There and Back Again book did it wonderfully with the linked campaign, but seeing them go back to Lord of the Rings and fleshing that out and adding new characters from the book previously not seen in the game at all is very inspiring. I really hope they manage to do the same and carry on this kind of quality. So that's my opinion of the book. Should you purchase it? Well, you should really make up your own mind. But I do think, in my humble opinion, that this is a wonderful purchase for anyone who wants to play scenarios, as well as a must-have for those who want to include these characters. Some of the models have had their rules on the GW website and the Forge Rule website previously, but all of them haven't. So check out my review if you want to know more about them, to see if you want to purchase the book just for the profiles. So over the next 2 videos I'll be doing the review of first the army, the profiles for the new models, as well as in the 3rd video the legendary legions. So join me shortly. It'll only be an hour or so, so do look out for that. Until then, I've been Andreas Norwegian Viking, and this has been my review of Gondor at War for the Middle-earth strategy battle game. Please comment, like, share and subscribe, and do consider supporting STF on Patreon using the link in the description below, as it is a fantastic way for you to support our efforts here at the channel, and it gives us monetary means to expand, improve and give you more cool videos each and every week. If that's at all interesting, please click the link, but more importantly, support your hobby.